I'm assuming losing your first choice ruckman early on doesn't help. How much of a blow was that?
It doesn't help. Certainly, you end up having to shuffle your team around, but it's not unique. The ability to be able to adjust and adapt and be able to throw some positions around to make up for it. It happens often in games. Obviously, Pitto is a very important person to us and gives our mids a good look. I thought when Tom was in the ruck, he competed pretty well against a really good ruckman. So he got his looks, but obviously we had to try and find other ways to be able to fill that.
And just on Mark, what's the prognosis with him? How bad's that?
Well, we'll get it assessed on Monday, but we feel like it's a fairly significant corky at this particular stage. So we tried to get him going, but he just wasn't able to run just where the actual it was on the front of his knee. So it was really hard for him to be able to get going. Really hoping that we've dodged any further damage there.
Vossi, the trends of the start of the season with Fremantle able to get on a roll, kicking goals, and another third quarter loss, albeit not as bad as some other ones, have come through again tonight. Can I just get your opinion on both of those again? You must be getting frustrated talking about it.
Oh no, I don't think it was really. I guess a quarter. We had periods through each quarter that we were able to, at least get the game a little bit in our favour, and there was large periods of time where the game was in an arm wrestle. So, but our ability to be able to capitalise on that and take our opportunities, but also when the moment requires to be able to defend long enough for us to be able to keep the scoreboard in a real arm wrestle was difficult to achieve today. So while I would say that might have been the case in previous games, I would say that's not the case tonight. Our opportunities we weren't able to capitalise. We certainly weren't able to keep the ball in our half for long enough to be able to build any sort of pressure. But when it was our turn to defend when we needed to and just hold on, they were able to find a goal and just keep that separation on the scoreboard.
Talk a bit about your skipper tonight. His preparation was limited due to his hamstring, but just to have 1 week off with a hamstring come out like that, it's pretty impressive again.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a really strong start to the season. He's certainly getting his hands on the ball a lot. I think collectively as a midfield, we probably lowered our colours a little bit tonight. And again, credit to Freo, their pressure around the ball was quite good. We somewhat transferred the pressure to the next person rather than take the meters that we needed and then win our battles further up the field. We could have identified that, or at least changed that a little bit earlier than what we did, and they were able to strip the ball back and then get the ball going in their half. So that had some challenges, but certainly there was some personnel in there tonight that were obviously able to still get a reasonably strong game.
Just on Cripper, was there any doubt today that he would play, or was he good to go?
We said late last week that it was always going to be an assess in the early part of the week, and whenever you're going through your rehab and trying to prepare for the next game, there's obviously always important milestones to reach. So we felt like he was reaching those markers. We sort of grew more confident as the week was progressed, and by the time we got to Tuesday, we felt like he was going to be able to get through the main training session, which was really just the final box that needed to be ticked.
Just on Harry Mackay, did he struggle with a knee issue today? I don't think he finished the game on the field.
Yeah, had a bit of a grumble. So we'll have to have a look at that. I'm not too sure what that actually is, but it was certainly affecting some of his movement tonight and his ability to be able to sort of get up and down the ground. So we'll have a look at that, but that's certainly early stages at the moment.
Great, thanks. I'll pass to Chatters.
I'll jump in. Thanks for that, Chatters. Yeah, just on Mackay, were you kind of tossing up who to sub out of the game because you had both of those guys injured in that first quarter? What was that like for you in the box?
well, not really. I mean, Pittos was the first decision to make. After that, if the next person comes off, well, we don't get to activate any further subs. So it just means you're one man down on the interchange bench. So no, Harry was able to go on. He's finished the game. So we'll assess it, but he's finished the game. He got through it. So we'll obviously hope that whatever's affecting him is quite minor.
Yeah. And how did you feel Adam Chero handled the return home? Or return to Perth, I should say.
I seem to handle it okay. I mean, I don't necessarily put one person in the mix in our midfield. There was a collective group that went out there and we weren't able to get the job done today. So, and that's the way that I look at it. There's obviously individual contributions when it comes to that. Obviously we accepted Adam's place of origin where he got his chance in AFL was at Fremantle, and he's obviously chosen to join us now, and that's somewhat a bit secondary to me, to be honest.
And who do you expect to get back next week?
Oh, no one off the top of my head, no. So we'll obviously go back and look at the game, and we'll review it pretty hard, and there's a couple of things that we need to be able to make sure that we continue to address. And, as we've spoken about here before, there's some things I think in our game that are real strong points of our game that we need to get back quick. But then there's some other parts that we need to probably just take a longer view on. And we've got to just make a bit of a slow burn and just keep working away at it, take every session that we can to improve it.
Were there any other injuries? I think Martin copped a pretty heavy knife near the end there.
No, there's more just bumps and bruises, I think, at the back end of the game.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for that.
So I'll just jump in again. Just on the personnel, so Kennedy and Silvani, are they a chance next week, or are they?
So thanks for helping me with that. They are probably the two guys that stand out that are strong possibilities for next week. Yes.
So Kennedy was soreness this week. Is that right?
Yeah. He's just had a couple of things that he's been managing, and we obviously couldn't get through Thursday's training session, so we just took the position to give him the rest, and hopefully he can recover pretty quick and ready to go for next week. And Jack's the same. He just gave himself a little tweak in the ankle at Thursday at training, and just probably wasn't good enough to be able to travel. So we're hoping again that's on the minor end, and that they'll both be available for next week.
Great. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.